Hi, I'm Stan Lane, seated alongside SBI President John Carbonell. We're on the New Jersey side, but we're facing the Big Apple, New York. And John, this is a very, very special weekend for Superboat. It's the 21st annual New York Superboat Grand Prix. Also very special because it's the anniversary of 9/11. This is a very, very special place for you.
It sure is, and it's a big honor for me to be here under these circumstances. And we really enjoy coming to New York and being here as long as we have. It means a lot to the organization as well as myself personally.
Now, how did this all happen 21 years ago? Because they just don't shut this river down for just anybody.
Well, that's top secret right now, and we had a lot of meetings, talked to a lot of people, and just made it happen.
They say it's the greatest city in the entire world, and just looking behind us with the skyline, you can even feel the excitement that is generated by every time we come here. 21 years, John, people from all over the country want to be a part of this race.
Sure do, and we got actually a Norway boat that's racing with us in this race, and the Ukrainians were supposed to be here, but unfortunately the big boat that they were coming across the Atlantic in is delayed and won't be actual. They'll unload the race boats on Monday.
Now, normally we race on Sunday. This year we're racing on Saturday because we're part of the 9/11 Memorial.
Unfortunately, it works out that way every 5 years. So our deal with the Coast Guard is we get an opportunity to change the date from a Sunday to a Saturday based on the 5-year turnover where the 911 works that way.
Now, speaking of the memorial tomorrow, what exactly is going to happen? We're going to race at 9 o'clock, but then what happens?
Well, what we've set up to do is do a race at 9 and be out on a race course and pretty much be over by 10. We're not a stranger to this type of a race. We used to do it with the Air and Sea Show, where we'd go out at 9 o'clock and start the Air and Sea Show off, and then have a certain amount of time that we had to get back in, which was 10 o'clock. And then we had to take down the race course and be ready for the landing craft to come into the beach. So when they asked me and called me and asked me if we could work out something, because normally our race time is at 1 o'clock, and I was more than happy to accommodate the park and everyone involved in it to do it this way.
The memorial will be unveiled. Rudy Giuliani will be here. New Jersey Governor Christie will be here. It's going to be a very, very large event.
It sure is, and I hope we add to it, and we really don't want to take away from it. We want to do like we've always done over the last 10 years is try and be part of it. After the 911 incident, we had just left Liberty State Park go back to Key West. We did our race, and we actually have the live footage of the Twin Towers the day before. And I was requested by both governors of New Jersey and New York to continue putting on the race to show that by them creating the catastrophe that they did, that it would not impede us from still moving forward with our lives and the people of New York's lives and Jersey.
Well, you mentioned Key West. Let's discuss Key West. That, of course, is the World Championships. We've been here in New York 21 years. We've been in the Key West for the World Championships 31 years. Your hometown. That has to be just an amazing feeling to put on the biggest race in the world in your hometown.
It is, and you know, everyone wants to shine in front of their hometown, and we get a lot of cooperation with them, and it's just a super race. And the old saying is, to be the best, you got to race in Key West. And this year, we're going to look forward to having about 6 or 7 international boats, and we will be sanctioning races in Europe next year. So everything's moving forward based on what we're doing in Key West and what we're doing here in New York and all our other race sites.
Every racer I've ever spoken with always says that Key West is the granddaddy of offshore racing sites. Why is that?
Well, It got there, that name, in early in the years when I raced from 76 to 86, and we went out to the reef and ran along the reef, did a 40-mile lap, and a lot of people got hurt, a lot of boats got hurt, and it was a survival race, what it was. Now we've moved it in for the television and for the new streaming that we're doing closer, so you can actually see the whole race just about from the outer mold. And so it's just been when they make the turn at turn number one, even though we moved it in closer, it's still called the wall because a lot of accidents happen there. And now turn number two, which when we make the turn goes into the actual main ship channel, which creates a variance in the water consistency, and it causes a lot of accidents. And so we know pretty much on the race course where to look out and put the most safety boats and medical people at. And we tell the racers in the drivers' meeting, look, watch out for this spot, look out, watch for that spot, and then take that turn number one at a reasonable speed until you get the feel of it, and then you could go around it pretty fast. And the last couple of years, they've been listening to me. Took me probably, I guess 28 years to get that message across, but it's finally getting there.
Well, you were talking about the liquid wall. Let's talk about the other wall, the mole, because that wall is just slam-packed, elbow to elbow with some of the greatest offshore racing fans in the world, and there is no better viewing than on that outer mole because the boats go by you at roughly 15 feet away from you. The spray actually hits you in the face, and the fans really love it. There's no other place like that in the world.
Yeah, I have to correct you on that. It's about 15 feet. Yeah, it's an exciting race. I mean, nowhere else in the United States do we come that close to the crowd. And not only that, but also going into the harbor and making that turn down in the harbor and coming back out is pretty spectacular. But the good part about the outer mole is they're at top speed when they go by that. And that could be anywhere from 140 to 160 miles an hour going across. You can actually feel the spray of the water coming back, and especially in the VIP 10 area, that it's a special place, and it works out. I mean, everything's in one spot. The Race Village has where we launch the boats, where we store the boats, where we put them in the outer mole area there for people to see, and the inner mole, put them out there for the people to see.
The racers speed by on the race course, and then after the race, they speed down to Duval Street. There's no partying like your hometown on Duval, John.
No, that's why we give them physicals before each race. We make sure that they didn't party too much, and if they did, then they pay the price and not racing.
As John said, to be the best, you must win Key West.